a lot of people don't even realize that our inner thoughts aren't us. It's not us talking.
It's the anti-you.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. It's our spiritual team. So the main thing is that because once we understood that our thoughts aren't just us, because when you close your eyes and you start talking to yourself, who the heck is talking? Right? That's the question. Who the heck is talking? So with that being said, as we started getting messages, and then you start realizing that the messages had a connection with how it manifested into our physical exterior, then we're like, wait, that's all it is? And then that's when you're just like, wait a minute, we all have the ability to be psychic mediums.
So, I mean, we're all sitting here, we're ramping up, we're feeling this union with this energy. And there's nothing more powerful than experiential moments. And this is what we're having right now. And that's where the audience looks to these type of conversations, is where it's an experience. It's not just more talking head, sort of like runaway thoughts or ideas or hypotheses, which goes on in this space all day long. And when you can have a union like the one we're having today, very powerful stuff. And it just starts to get stronger and stronger as we get deeper and deeper into getting to know ourselves, right? You know, which has never been a remiss thing. I mean, honestly, reunited and it feels so good.
Don't get me started. I love karaoke.
I love it too.
She's a karaoke
queen.
So, I mean, the big thing is you have a palpable connection that I can see from a visual perspective in relation to all the facets of the energy, and then I feel it. So why don't you speak to the audience more about this hot topic, which is twin flames?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked, because everybody, when we're in the room together, I don't know what it is. It's just magnificent, the energy that we give off. And it's interesting, our twin flame union, it started many years ago. We are both registered nurses, and we met each other in nursing school. And they say that twin flames have an instant attraction, which was absolutely true. But I do want to clarify, our twin flame union is not a romantic one.
No.
So we are debunking the idea that twin flames have to be romantic, because that is absolutely false.
Touchdown.
All right.
Touchdown. Yeah, I mean, it's always gritty. It's always exciting because people want to put that sort of like on the precipice of there's got to be something more that has to be completely unionized. Like that is just false. It's false. A soul connection, right?
It's absolutely. And then people say, like, well, what is it? What makes a twin flame union so different than a regular soulmate union or a soul ray union, whatever it is? So for us, what we have found out over the years, because it took a long time. We've been friends for over 17 years, Kish. Is that correct?
Because we've been
longer than that.
We've been nurses for over 16 years.
Oh yeah, so definitely, I'll say around 20 years or so that we've been friends, and we have learned so many things together. But the ultimate goal, the reason why God brought us together, is because we have a huge mission. And this is what people don't understand. That's what twin flame relationships are all about. Once you guys balance your karma together, because you guys come in obviously as two separate energies, but as your energy comes together, and some twin flames can't be together. Come to find out, which I could talk about later, I actually have another twin flame that is a romantic twin flame, and me and that individual can't be together. We haven't yet to be together.
Yeah.
And then I have another twin flame that's supposed to come, which is a child. I don't know where this child is coming from. I don't know who this child is, but that's what's supposed to happen. But I think
Immaculate conception, baby. You just
it,
wake up one
whatever it
day
is.
and Santa Claus is knocking at the door. You open up and there's a stork just drops a baby on your
Yes.
doorstep.
You
That's
never
it.
know what's going to happen. But I will say this about the child twin flame that I have coming into my pipeline is that I don't personally have children. I never had them. So if a child ends up coming, I think part of the twin flame energy has already started because I could never had the child that I always wanted in my life. And that's part of the difficulty. And some of the things that you have to accept with the challenges that come with twin flame relationships. Her and I, even though most twin flame relationships have a lot of push and pull that come with the energy, her and I have been very fortunate. We have, just because we are friends, we have learned how to master our energy and balance it in such a way, and we improve every single day. I think a
Definitely.
lot of it is because we understand the end game is that this we have a huge mission together. It's
We,
huge. It's major. So
the,
we live in that. So we
mhm.
have to make sure that we remove our egos, which I think was one of the current things that we had to learn. Removing our egos, stepping to the side, and understanding that our mission really truly is about the universe and divine and healing people in a way that they need us to accomplish in this lifetime. So
Mm-mm.
that's why we're here.
Yep.
Well, Keisha, what do you say about that? You got some more to add?
Well, the funny thing is when we discovered we were twin flames, it took a while for us to figure out what the mission was.
Mm.
Because I'm one of those people, if God gave me something or gave me a gift, I need to know why. I need to see on the other side of the wall, why are we here? So it was magnificent when we found out. It was a little disheartening because we found out that in another lifetime, the Akasha records say that when we were together in the Cleopatra age, we were part of a group of tribesmen that were giving gifts.
Mm.
And at that time, we didn't use our gifts to the best of our ability. We were
Yeah.
selfish with it. We were greasing our palms, and I guess we were dealing with politicians at that time. So these gifts were not utilized in the right manner. And so in this lifetime, we were given the same gifts again.
Yep.
And
Mm.
now it's time for us to do it right.
Wow.
And so then when we realized, okay, we have these gifts, we knew the gifts were of healing. It was funny because I remember one time I was in a patient's house because at that time I was doing home care, and a patient's daughter asked me. She said, "Has anyone ever told you you're a shaman?" So at this time, Janine and I are trying to figure out what is it that we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So I remember I got in the car and I looked up shaman, and I looked up at this guy. I said, "God, you want me to be a healer? That's why we're twin flames, for me to be a healer." And then a couple weeks later, another lady told me, she said she saw me come in the house with a bunch of angels. And she said, make a long story short, she was telling me that I'm going to be a huge healer, bigger than I can ever imagine. And so that became the theme: healer, healer, healer. So I'm one of those people like, okay, I know we're nurses. I'm like, is that how we're healing? And they were like, no, it's bigger than that.
Bigger.
And so we're like, okay. And then the rest is like, I would say not history, but it's just, we were like two, I won't say dogs because we're not dogs, but we were two animals getting crumbs. They would like, the universe was giving us crumb by crumb.
Yeah.
And it was like clues. It was like, okay, all right, we got a clue next. What's
Yeah.
this? And so after a while, we finally are here and we know exactly why we're here. And it's amazing. And I'm honored. We're both honored because we're
Definitely.
like, okay, wow, like we were given this responsibility. And it's funny when we did our quantum healing, they said we're supposed to heal all souls. I'm like, all souls? That's a big assignment.
Exactly. And
So,
also we found out, obviously as being friends, finding out things of each other, our life paths were very, very similar. So that's another
mhm,
characteristic of being a twin flame that you end up discovering is that you kind of had the same life path, and we truly, truly have. How we met up in nursing school, and even relationships that we have been in were very similar, and we would get in trouble at work at the same
yeah,
time, like
yes.
actual twins, and it's.
Yeah.
Very interesting. The energy is very interesting. And now that we have come together and starting to live in our purpose together in unison, it, and as you said in the beginning of the show, and a lot of people say with when they have met us, is that they can feel the energy between us.
They really
We
can.
can't explain it. We don't know. We just know that, we're just doing us. We're just being us. And
Yeah.
then, but when we come together, people really truly can feel how beautiful our energy is, and it's powerful.
Yes. And
So
we've
they
learned a
say.
lot. We've learned a lot in the last 3 years. Like the last 3 years has been a journey. Even discovering that we're psychic mediums.
Mm.
That was a like because the funny thing was I called her up one day at work. I said, I think we're psychic mediums. She's like, you think so? She's like, oh, okay. Like that's how that went.
But to clarify, it's not that we are self-proclaimed any psychic mediums. We have had to through our journey, we found out that with heavy meditation and being part of the mission that we're on, that we really truly do have the ability to see and also provide people with provide and or connect with the other side. I'm sorry, and connect with the other side. So
Definitely.
that's really important for people to know, because one thing that we have also discovered is that the universe is giving everybody that ability.
They have.
Everybody has the ability to do this. It's our soul's innate desire is to connect to
Mm-hmm.
the other side, because we are
Definitely.
that. We're just living this physical experience, and we have to find that again. So the veil is being lifted for everybody as we transition into this new timeline, this new dimension, this fifth dimension, that they need all of the us to know that we
Mhm.
have the ability to connect with them, and they want us to utilize them.
They do. They do.
Amen to that, sister.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is a phenomenon, right? So when I look back biologically for myself on this journey, my own journey, 30 years ago, people would come across a conflicting moment where they're really questioning their state of mind as opposed to their embodiment. And it
Yeah.
would come in a form of a facet of psyche, right? So it's all mental, but it's not a mental as in wholeness. It's a mental as in I'm hearing voices. I'm seeing grandma. I've got some sense of self. There's a
Hmm.
supernatural, supernormal power that I've just had a slither, a little peek at, and I don't know what to do with it. Now,
Yeah.
30 years ago, that person would be diagnosed with some type of like psychotic
Schizophrenia.
break. And so I would do what I do as an ordained priest in two lineages of Taoism. I would perform an exorcism on it.
Right.
Be like, whoa, 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 whoa. But it's an awakening. It's not an exorcism per se. All I'm doing is giving them the operating system so they can actually complete what they've already started. And I think a lot of people tend to get tastes of what this is. We refer to this as a bite of the spiritual dragon. You get a little
Yeah.
taste, and then you want to find more. Like just
Exactly.
you got a little seed. Both of you got a seed a couple of years ago and said, "Oh, I think we're psychic mediums," and then you recognize that the more and more you moved into that, you got all the tools that are necessary to validate that as your absolute. And that
Exactly.
comes from falling into a sacrifice, right? You're literally sacrificing what you once knew as this a form of reality, and you're now accepting a whole different stream as a whole piece. And then all of a sudden you start to realize these things come in. They come in real quick. That's like hammer time, man. it
Yeah.
it's like it's one banger after another. And so, today I find that most people will in a similar circumstance will wake up and say, hey, I'm channeling the Palladians. I don't
Mm.
I don't need San Qing. I'm going to open up a YouTube channel and get 100,000 followers. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and I
Yeah.
think that's exciting. I think it's an exciting time. What I would say is you are measured by your own boundaries of conditioning.
Correct.
Oh
So,
yeah.
what I've noticed over all these years is most people that end up on my doorstep have already measured themselves as unity consciousness, Brahman, cosmic consciousness. They've obtained this state of awareness, and they've been doing it for quite some time, in some cases decades. But then the hubcaps come off the wheels, right? So if you are not exercising this flesh and blood that looks back in you at the mirror, that is an identity of self, the 50 trillion cells that you recognize as a system, if you don't take poise and actualize it, there's an internal state that takes place. So when you get what you refer to as gifts, you absorb what we refer to as the yin energy, which is all colors. Okay. And so your intuitive gifts go off the charts. But it's like driving a car, recognizing that it has the potential of an energy or an engine that can go up to, 8 V8, 100 miles an hour. You're pushing it and taking it right up to that, but your engine capacity should be larger and the car can't take anymore.
Correct.
So that inner creation of the body is so overlooked. It's like spiritual bypassing, in my opinion. Most people go, I'm a psychic, I'm a medium, I'm a channel. I'm excited for you. Now, how do you maintain that? Because your resonance will continue to get higher. Every time you put in the licks, you put in the focus and attention, you're crafting your mastery. But to do that, you must be able to harness the avatar. The avatar is like a mirrored effect of your spirit in this material state.
That's exactly right.
And so I would love you guys to explain the conditioning that it takes to maintain that, because when you harness, most people have what they call nervous breakdowns, right? They raise to another resonance, and in my opinion, they shit the bed. They like literally. Maybe I'll ask you guys if you're okay with a few adjectives here and there. I'm gonna,
trust me.
If you listen to our show, trust me, this is nothing new.
We have potty mouths.
Right. And people get a little, they pucker up a little bit when you throw an adjective in there, but it's like, hey, guess what? It's like, it gets real. You get to see yourself when you find that abrasive, when that makes you contract. Here's an opportunity for you to evolve. Here's an opportunity for you to expand. So I would love you guys to elaborate on the conditioning aspect. I have my own conditioning that I teach people. I would love you guys to share with the audience how you contain that resonance and then continue to expand. Within a cycle of Taoist alchemy, it's stress, adaptation, and then expansion. And this trilogy is a cycle that is continual, that never stops. As you continue to consume more resonance, you cultivate what we refer to as energy potential is the currency. It's the potential, the dance, the symbiosis between yin and yang is the true transformative state of divinity. You can merge with that. This is the potential. How do you make it so that the hubcaps don't come off the wheels? You're able to hold that resonance and you don't break. Because when I get a lot of channelers or mediums specifically, they end up like being spent. They're like, I can only do one channel a week now. I was down. These people are like succubus. I can't deal with it. They're all consuming. And it's a real thing. If you don't take care of your business, you will be consumed by everyone else's shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so how would you guys approach it from a conditioning as a mastered state that you guys are in? And
I want to speak on to this. I want to speak on this first.
Yep.
Because it's really important that we understand how necessary trust is. Now, let me just tell you a quick story. One day, Kisha and I, we were filming in the very early stages of our podcast, and we finished filming. We were just having some talk in the end. And I said to her, I said, I just feel like they need me to trust them. I had a ring light that was sitting in the back of me. And I swear to you, it would not work. For the life of me, it would not work. I had it charged, still couldn't turn it on. But the minute I said that, the freaking thing started flickering.
You mean like earlier today for the audience?
Yeah.
The second you went, I'm commanding this shit. This is happening.
Exactly.
Boom, all of a sudden, your audio. We had a little audio hiccup, and Janine just, listen.
I told my light being
to work right now. It's that simple.
and then the light switch came on. But that's it. Just understanding the concept of trust. When you start trusting the universe first,
Mm-hmm.
then the exchange becomes more prominent. So after that happened, I'm like, wait a minute. That was like an aha moment for me. I said, wait a minute. They're telling me something. Now I know it's okay for me to trust, and that it's what I need to do. So as I started doing that, of course, you incorporate meditation, but obviously that trust aspect needs to be defined, because what happens is a lot of people don't even realize that our inner thoughts aren't us. It's not us talking.
It's the
So
anti-you.
it's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. It's our spiritual team. So the main thing is that because once we understood that our thoughts aren't just us, because when you close your eyes and you start talking to yourself, who the heck is talking? Right? That's the question. Who the heck is talking? So, with that being said, as we started getting messages, and then you start realizing that the messages had a connection with how it manifested into our physical exterior, then we're like, wait, that's all it is? And then that's when you're just like, wait a minute, we all have the ability to be psychic mediums. So,
Mm-hmm.
once you start settling the mind and you start realizing that when you can stay in the moment and really truly listen, not only do you listen through whatever visions may come to you, but for Kisha and I, we get really profound sensations around our body. So the profound sensations is absolutely them talking to us. So like I'll give you another example really quick. Keisha and I just had um, what's called angel Reiki. So I don't know if your audience is familiar with angel Reiki. So we all know about regular Reiki, which is just the transference of high vibrational love energy. But we actually just experienced something called angel Reiki. So now the angel beings actually come in, and they're the ones that are moving the energy for you.
Mm-hmm.
So when we did it, Keisha, we were actually both in the same room. Keisha did it first, and Keisha said, "Oh my God, the sensations are
It's
so intense."
amazing.
Then, as soon as she was done, it was like they knew I was next, and
Mm-hmm.
they came to me before they locked into my spirit, my aura, before I could even sit on the table to get the Reiki. They were in my field before I could even sit down and start the process. So it was just amazing how we could feel the energy is just becomes different. But a lot of that comes with, as you were saying, the training. The training is necessary. So
Mm-hmm.
our training truly is making sure that number one, we take the time, the moments to not only connect with elements. So Keisha and I love the water. I don't know what it is. When we touch the water, all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of visions come to us. They talk to us like crazy on the other side when we take showers every day, okay? And then taking the moments to meditate. So Keisha and I, we both are registered nurses. So we're around a lot of energy during the course of the day. So settling the mind is imperative, because we have to be able to disconnect from a lot of the chaos, so that way we truly have clear and valid messages that will come through, because you get murky messages from time to time. Like for me, I had I and earthbound spirits love me. I'm not even going to lie to you. Earthbound spirits love me. They love attaching themselves to me, and I don't know why. So I have to make sure that I clear the energy very often, so that way I don't have a lot of interference. And I was warned of that too. I was told that I have to be careful of the messages that may come through, because there's so many of them trying to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
So my story is similar, obviously, but with my husband and I are on two different planes. He's my soulmate, but my soulmate is not on this level with me with spirituality. Um, Backstory about me: prior to being enlightened, I was a holy roller. What people would say, holy roller. If my theme was, if it was not in the Bible, I'm not gonna entertain that. But I was intrigued with psychic mediums. I was intrigued by ghost stories. But that's the furthest I would take it. So moving forward with my journey, my husband is supportive, but like to the side. So the other night, he and I had a conversation about my gifts, and he said, you know, my main concern is that you're not opening up a portal for negative energy to come through, which is a valid statement. And I said to him, I said, one of the things that Janine and I do, we protect ourselves. Anytime I'm doing a prayer, anytime we're doing quantum healing, anytime we're doing intuitive life coaching, I bring my team in. I ask for protection. I do rituals like the sage and the palo santos. One of the things that people who are into spirituality, they must understand is that you are the master of the universe. So when there's negative energy around you, you can tell it to leave you alone. You can ask your spiritual team to anything negative around me to let them stand to the side and not latch on to me. There was a period where before I was enlightened, actually I was enlightened, but I was not in the depths that we are right now. We had gotten a reading together, and I was a home care nurse at the time, and the reader said to me, you're bringing negative energy from people's homes. So I literally was collecting them at every household and bringing it into my home. And she said, that's why you have so much depression in your house. So I say all that to say, oh, and then my assignment was at every morning I had to bathe with a certain soap and with intentions. And when I came home from work, I had to bathe with intentions. So one of the things that all psychic mediums, anyone who's into spirituality, they must understand that they have to pray with intention. They can protect themselves. Even eating, we pray over our food. I
Yeah.
tell people, pray over your toothpaste. If you want your teeth whiter, pray over your toothpaste. Pray with intentions. But what the point I'm trying to make to everyone is that you are protected as long as you tell the universe, anything negative around me must stop, must leave me alone. But one of the things, I had a beautiful conversation with one of my coworkers. Now I work in the hospital. One of my coworkers yesterday, we had a discussion about negative entities around us. Now, I'm going to go in a different direction a little bit. But one day I was meditating and praying, and my team said to me, negative energy most of the time is our friend.
Yeah.
Most of the time is our friend. And people, that sounds cryptic. Like, how can a negative energy be our friend? And then I recently got a reading where I was told that I had a negative entity on my team, like they were allowed to be on my team. And so people who are enlightened and who are spiritualists may understand that concept, but then there's people that might not understand that concept. And the purpose of that negative entity is to keep tapping you on your shoulder to say, yoo-hoo, wake up, so they're allowed to. But the thing is also too, I found out through meditation is that our team that are with us and they're protecting us, if we are not saying the words, leave me alone, don't be around me, they cannot tell this entity to leave you alone. They have to oblige by God and allow this thing to bother you. And that may sound cryptic as well. So, and we found out that they will develop karma. So if our ancestors and our spirit guides are trying to, because my mother's a strong woman. She passed away at the age of 48. She is on my team, but I know she has restrictions because I have to put it out in the universe what I want. And as soon as we give it to the universe, it's like, okay, you don't want these negative entities around you, we're gonna detach them from you.
Yeah.
So it's all about expressing what you want from the universe. And I also pray for my team. I ask God to protect my team from any negative energy that's around, because we don't know what's on the other side. And when we're doing intuitive life coaching with our clients, they come to the table with a lot of negative energy, and negative energy loves light.
It
They
does.
love light, and they will latch onto you like, oh my God, Sanders, he's handsome. I'm going to get with him. Now, did I say your name right?
Yeah, you did. You got it right on.
So they might say, you know
It's
what?
Son. I'm sorry. We're
Son.
going to have to end the interview right now. No, I'm just kidding.
So they might say, San looks really good right now. I'm going to leave Keisha and go to San. And that's how they really jump from person to person. So it's up to us to ask. And I always ask, when I'm doing any kind of ritual, any kind of service to our clients, we always ask at the end, in the beginning and the end, that anything that is not of the light to go to the light. and anything that has come to us during the ceremony to go to the light.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you have to it's all about commanding and telling the universe what you want. We found out through quantum healing that a lot of times our team is waiting to be tagged in. And if we don't tag them and they're standing there saying, I could help her, but she's not asking for help or he's not asking for help. So they have to stand there and watch the drama happen, the soap opera happen with you and these entities.
Yeah. But the
Now,
one thing about negative energy that I want to say really quickly is that and negative energy is looking for an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it plays into our everyday lives. So it's trying to learn from you. So that's the reason why negative energy ends up becoming a part of your situation. But as you start to raise your vibration and
Mm-hmm.
you understand that that negative energy is really there to teach you something, then
Yes.
that's when the negative energy no longer has anything else to learn and it has to leave you.
Also, too, I'm sorry, San. One of the things that Janine and I specialize in is raising vibrations. So, and we'll talk about that in a little while, but this is very, very important for the people that you're talking about who are driving the car and the wheels are falling off or the hubcaps are falling off.
mhm.
Even though people are spiritualists, psychic mediums, there are many times that these individuals have low vibrations. So we all know that no matter what part of the scale you're on, you manifest every day if you're vibrating chronically low or chronically high. So a lot of times, believe it or not, I've come across psychic mediums who have negative energy, who have low energy. So they're attracting a lot of this negative energy. So if they do one consultation or one service, if they're not naturally vibrating on a higher level, they're going to attract this negative energy.
Yeah.
So it's really important that anybody who's giving a service like that and they're intertwining with other people's spiritual teams, it's very important for them to understand that raising your vibration, staying chronically high on the vibrational scale is very important. And we talk about that with our clients. There are people who are chronically low, there are people who are chronically high. When we say someone's acutely low, that could be because someone recently passed away.
Yeah.
So of course, if you're always vibrating high and then your loved one dies, of course you're gonna go down and feel sadness. But then after you recover, you go right back up on the scale,
You
and
have
that's
to.
what happens with a lot of people who are enlightened. They have to master the vibrational scale. If they do not master the vibrational scale, they might as well put a I'm sorry, I'm close sign up and say I'll return in 6 months. They need to do that until they can be chronically high on a vibrational scale. That is the major thing.
Yep.
No, I mean, that's a great point. When I talk about that, it's the self-realization. Shout out to you, a little bit of tea here. There we go.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you.
This is old tip from Tibet, handpicked by Tibetan monks. It's an old
Beautiful.
tip leaf. It's a red tea, and that's for
Hmm.
the heart. And it's enriched with Indian rose petals. So that's
Beautiful.
what I
Beautiful.
refer to
Yeah.
as the immortal elixir. So yeah, and yeah, it's a bestseller. No, I'm just kidding. No, you make such a great point. When I witness this, there's an emanated state. So most of the people that I deal with are, you know 20-30 year veterans of a state of Brahman or cosmic consciousness, and they've been helping millions of people over their lifetime.
Mhm.
Only when you bypass the fundamentals of being the true emanation through a physical form, that lens, and you don't pour the foundation, you will run into roadblocks. So to
Mhm.
actualize the 50 trillion cells that you believe is your flesh and blood that looks back at you, you must condition the body. You must pour the foundation, and then you must activate what we call the internal alchemy. We take Widan, which is the external, Nidan, which is the internal, and we actualize what we call Nigong, which is
Mm.
internal power. And from that, you're able to concentrate and manipulate energy at will by actualizing the energy potential. You would refer to it as chakras. We refer
Mhm.
to it as dantians, which is the energy elixir field. And each energy center has its emotion to virtue. So when I walk up to someone on the street and they're like, hey, what's up? And I'm in Vegas. I like to do street magic a lot with the kids. I teach them all this psychic stuff. And so we'll go out. One of the fundamental things is a basement level understanding of conscious and unconscious. You must be able to merge those two. So when I walk up to someone on the street and ask them if they want to feel bliss, and they're at the front of the Bellagio, and before their friend gets the camera out to experience this sideshow of like magic, and they're passing out, standing up, and I haven't mentioned a word to them, they freak out. They're like, "Whoa!" I say, so now what would you like to experience? We're going to give your friend a supercharge of bliss, but why don't we take it to the next level? I'm going to turn into Justin Bieber, and guess what? They're going to forget their name. And so these fundamentals of like trance are critical to getting an understanding of level of everything is energy potential. It is a currency of this material state. So for Taoism, we don't really get into identity as much. Like yin is the inversion of all colors, yang is the admission of all colors. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, Ethan Hunt, is to find the center point. That vesica point is where you move through it and you recognize you're everything and nothing at the same time. So that dance, that symbiotic dance between these polarizing energies, is the complexity of what, you know, most people on the path of human condition, their sleuth deduction from their Sherlock to their Watson is the labyrinth of the finite mind, coming out the other side as human beings, a holy state, a holy stream, what we refer to as the Wu Ji, the primordial mother. That is the animation to everything. And recognizing that you are that, and you can pull on the tapestry of this material state. Now all of a sudden we get down with the get down. There's opportunity to change, to return people to the holiness. You know, when we refer to within Taoist magic, we look at the karmic model of every individual. You are only subject to your weakest link. So when I cast magic, the purpose of it is holiness. You return to holiness. There's no in between. So the side effect might be whoever's within that makeup of that talisman and that imbued magic that comes in different phases. There's normally 9 phases within Taoist magic. We lay down a grid. There's a 9-point grid. We actualize the cosmos and we settle that in, directing and redirecting energies to return it to whole, whether it's a place, person, or thing. The effect is you have to meet your maker. So if you're not interested in experiencing the truth of who you are, you're going to end up like some asshole that goes, it's you, you're the problem, you're the reason, I've got all this stuff, I'm angry, I'm depressed, I'm frustrated, I'm psychotic. It's because of you. And that's the dance, right, of that dualistic experience, is recognizing that your resonance will precede you in any circumstance, where someone has to then meet, as you said, Kisha, that vibration. And so being able to condition yourself is critical. A lot of people, they will get to a point where they break it down. So they get to a high level, Brahman consciousness, unity consciousness, whatever you call it, and then they can't hold it. And so if they don't feel the foundation, and it gets to a certain point where it's beyond a level of protection, it's where you're at in your own conditioning. I've kind of stepped into a state where I've kind of been doing this for a long time, where you are me, I am you. If I'm afraid of you, then there's a problem. I mean, I could give you adventures up and down the peninsula in San Francisco, where I'm exercising homes, people, places for the last 20, 30 years. It's interesting. It's epic. You want to get into ghost stories? Let's get down with it. Let's get out here to Vegas. And I love going around the casinos, where I'll be able to identify all the hot spots where the congregation of entities are. And people use that. I'm in the Luxor. Let me check San's video on the Luxor. And they'll go down and find the hot spots at the front, all around the structure, because you're integrating the geometry and you're integrating levels of spirit emanation that is coming full circle. And if you're able to condition yourself to that, you're going to get a great sense of self from that experience. So I agree with you 1,000,000%. the aspect of conditioning is critical. It's being able to hold that node of charge. And so we get past, the subjective finite mind, which is corrupt and bankrupt, and will always repeat the same thing. It's like the rat in the wheel. If you ever want to get a result, you need to supercharge that intellect by merging the two. When you get that, all of a sudden, your intellect and your intuitive state is on steroids. And that's where you guys are at. You have been able to condition yourself and recognize, keep picking up these Sherlock to the Watson crumbs and actualizing yourself and live and breathe that emanation, which many people are afraid of, and they don't want to speak on it because it's a huge shift in societal norms. These days, it's normal. 30 years ago, someone tell me what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm a priest. I do X. Whoa, gotta go. And the first time I mentioned it to a friend of mine who's Jewish, he goes, "Oh man, where have you been?" "Oh, I've been on a sabbatical. I just finished a couple of monasteries in China, and I'm ordained. My name is carved up on a wall in a 2,000-year-old monastery." I was like, "Oh, okay. So what? You Christian or what?" And I said, "Oh, what's Taoism?" It was like, and the same second he goes, "There is only one God." I'm like, "Relax, guy, relax, man." But it's a fear that I think that Kisha had mentioned. She was in one path, and there was a certain way of looking at things, and you've moved past that, and you have such a great, healthy relationship with your family and a supportive system of your husband that you move past these phases or limitations that you might create, because really the truth is everything is iteration of self.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that true recognizing that we are all things. So I've been a Taoist priest, a Catholic priest, a Buddhist. I mean, man, one time in a lifetime as a Buddhist, I set myself on fire. I was up in smoke, man, in liberation, moving to that next level. At one time as a Buddhist monk, I starved myself for 10 years and then put myself in a tomb to mummify myself. And that's the arrived moment of realization, is when you mummify yourself in the material state, you have arrived at the highest level of ascension and transmission.
Wow.
So, we get through all this stuff. And you mentioned quantum healing. Is that a Dolores thing?
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's been.
It's a Dolores thing.
She has been irritating me for quite some time.
Why has she been irritating you? Please
she's
tell
got
me.
she's got a soapbox, and she comes in with another guy by the name of Art Bell. I don't know whether you heard of this guy. He was a talking head on alien radio out here in Nevada. And so he's been right into the whole, coast to coast radio, George Norrie. I don't know whether you heard of this guy, Gaia TV, all that kind of stuff. He started it out back in the 80s and 90s, where he was just broadcasting, listening to the Kooks on Saturday night, calling it, "I saw an alien. Oh my goodness." He's like, "Tell me more." And I mean, he literally did this for decades. And then, of course, the internet turned up, and he had some conspiracy about how he was snuffed or whatever. I'm like, "Listen, dude, I have a soapbox. I leave the lights on 24/7. I'm always open, but I'm not going to be the bleeding heart that gets the pulpit and starts speaking your religion or your dogma just because you tell me so." But Dolores yapping away that the actual system, and I've had this validated by, I've had probably over 20 or 30 Dolores practitioners, and they were like, she would never reincarnate or come back, or I mean, there's no reincarnation. She's just earthbound spirit, and that's what she keeps barking at me. She says that people are not performing her 5-stage awareness program to the same degree, and they're tossing it off as, "Hey, you know what? People are more raised in their consciousness. They don't have to go as deep." And she's like, "No, this is this consciousness thing, and some embolistic state is necessary to get the true nature of what's going on here." I'm like, Right, you go, girl.
I'm so glad
I'm
you
actually,
brought that
yeah,
up
we're so glad you're saying
because
that.
we revamped Dolores Cannon's technique.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did.
She calls hers quantum healing hypnotherapy technique.
Mm-hmm.
We call ours quantum restorative hypnotherapy technique
There you go.
Yeah.
because everyone's version of healing is different.
Yes.
But what our technique does, it helps restore the soul. We're trying to get the soul to understand why they even came here, what their mission is, and why are they not succeeding?
Yes.
Why do they have all these obstacles?
Mm-hmm.
And people are the type that they need to see something to understand what's happening. So a lot of people, they enjoy the quantum restored hypnotherapy technique. We call it QRHT because when they get to relive the lifetimes that has
I wish I never mentioned her name. It's like
why, but we
because
was gonna
she's a pain in the ass
is she
that's
bothering you
now
right now?
interrupting my whole space. I mean, I have my crew sitting at this altar. So all my teachers are sitting here. I see them as I see you. I hear them as I
Yeah.
hear you. And as Crockett and Tubbs would say from Miami Vice, I ain't 3 cents short of a dollar. And I didn't leave my groceries at the meat market. And so once again, it's like be gone.
Well,
Yes.
hold on, Janine. So okay. If Dolores is here, I just want her to understand something. Um, Hypnotherapy is a the way we do it is we customize it to the person's needs. So if I'm dealing with a woman who's Indian, I obviously I'm not Hindu, but I'm going to make sure that our ceremony, this session, is going to be pertaining to her. Dolores Cannon's system, it's cookie cutter, but we infuse everyone's beliefs because it's very pertinent, when someone is under that at the end when we're trying to have this soul learn a lesson that this soul can understand, can relate to what we're trying to teach them.
Yeah.
So
Very
Her answer
relatable.
is this. It's like, I appreciate you saying it's cookie cutter, but quite frankly, when you hit some ballistic, that's epsilon and beyond. It's a never ending dip where you really get the answers. And she believes that people they are not committing to the method that she conditions.
Yeah.
It's like, and your ability to transcend and expand from what she may have created earlier, I think is great. She's more a stickler for processes, and
Yeah.
that's her barking constantly. And she refers to
She
her
is.
she literally refers to her daughter as being a big issue why this is the case. And I'm like, ooh, huh? I'm not going there on that. Maybe that's why she never accepted my invitation.
Ooh.
But like, that's a big thing. And I think that once you drop it, like that's how I get someone's attention. I'll drop them into a somnambulistic state immediately and just, play with what.
I want to tell you something though. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
So when I actually did my quantum healing, Dolores Cannon came through.
she did.
And the interesting thing is we were very aware of the fact that she's very strong-minded, and she was just so secure in the fact that when when you do her method, that everyone is going to get healed. Your body, your mind, your spirit, everything is going to get healed. And as we started doing it, we realized it's not that simple.
Mhm.
And then we really started to understand through through our learnings that the akashic records are a major part of what the soul's mission is as it incarnates, right? Or as it comes here to learn the lessons. We have to understand the significance behind the akashic records.
Mhm.
So Dolores Cannon's Dolores Cannon's method, the reason why it was imperative that we had to change it, because as we started dealing with people, we're realists. So like when you watch our show, we're
Mhm.
very down to earth, and we know how to connect to people in a very down to earth way. That's the easiest way I can say it.
Yes.
And when we do that, it's just literally our energy trying to connect and meet people where they are. So
Yes.
when we have people that may be interested in quantum healing,
I mean,
they
it's like she's wants to interrupt. It's like this is the problem with the people that are attempting to hand off her training. Her thing is, I'm clinical. I'm a skeptic. I didn't expect it. I am just a transcriber of this stuff. I don't claim anything. This is her. It's like, I'm not claiming anything. I'm just claiming that, guess what? I transcribe this stuff. I hit a node, and people are starting to get crazy, like past life regressions and spontaneous effects. But I never put it into that state. Like, that's where she's all twisted over it, because I didn't. This is not a claimed healing thing. This is just, I was experiencing all these things, and they just kept coming to me in a greater thing. That if you follow my method, you will recognize what it is that you're doing as something greater. But I don't ever claim it to be a holy healing technique.
But check this out. This is the irony, and this is what I was. Right? But this was what I was going to get
conversation. To. I'm glad she's here.
But check this. This is what I was going to get to. I totally agree with you. But because we have taken her method and she personally came during my session, I think she's learning over there. Don't be fooled. She has entered into a space where I think she realizes her fault with her own methods.
Well, it's like a grumpy old Fabissina, you know. She's like the God, right? Hey, listen, I'm just speaking. I'm speaking it as it is, and you know, everyone can see their fault, but I'm more curious as to why you're still earthbound. It's like, this is where you move through something.
I know
someone holds that charge, but they're not being returned and recycled as light. They're still hanging around.
I know. You're so right.
Do we really want to go deeper as to why she is still hanging around?
I mean, you know, so I'm glad Dolores is here, and I need for Dolores to understand something. So first of all, when Janine and I were given the assignment to heal the world, we were like, okay, now how is this going to happen? When I was in a state of meditation every day, where they were like coming at me and they were saying, the problem is that people are not getting it. They said they wanted us, Janine and I, to dumb things down and make it a little more simpler for the person that only graduated from high school, the person that maybe only graduated from 6th grade. They were saying that things in the spiritual world are a little too complicated for the average Joe Schmo who knows that something's off. Because in 2019 and 20, a lot of people got enlightened, but they got enlightened and then that was it.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, my eyes are wide open, but
what do I do with this information?
Exactly. So they wanted me and Janine to give it in its simplest form.
Yes.
And what we found through Dolores Cannon's method is that when we receive these people, they are as raw as it gets. They have not done any shadow work. They are the person they've been for the last 30, 40 years that we've just met through our pre-consultation and then coming to our office. So we don't know them really from a can of paint, except for through our intuitiveness. So what happens is this person that lays on our bed for 3 hours, they get this information and it's like, okay, all right, I got the information. But because they have not done any work on their soul, the information is like going to a movies and watching it and then throwing your movie ticket in the garbage. Like, what purpose did it serve you?
Well, so that 9 point that you guys opened up a space of awareness that
correct,
take it and leave it. Like, your resonance has permeated the flesh, permeated the energy body, and starts to show cracks of the soul,
correct,
spirit coming out. Like, the purpose is there. The question is it comes right back to what I've been talking about, and we agree. They can't hold the charge. This is where most healers are short. They transmit a charge, they alter the frequency, and then the person's like, no, it didn't stick. 3 days later, the thing came out.
Exactly.
Right?
So that's where Janine and I had sat down through experience and through trials and error. We figured out, okay, first of all, we got to change the name because we put our own spice to it.
Yeah.
And we realized that the quantum healing, the quantum restorative that we do is just a snippet of the healing. We know we're showing the person part of their akashic records.
Yes.
But what we've incorporated through the QRHT, and some people can't even do the QRHT because if they are not good at sleeping at night, if they can't see images when they close their eyes, or if they are constantly coughing. So there's a laundry list of people who cannot do the QRHT.
Yeah.
But for those who are able to do it, we we recommend to them, because we can't force anyone to do anything. We recommend to them to get intuitive life coaching from us, because they need shadow work, and they need, and also too, people need to see how the engine was built. See, what we do is we recommend that everyone stick with their therapist. A lot of our clients have a therapist for weeks, months, and years. We recommend that they stay with us. So most of the time most of the time they only need 5 sessions with us. And I'm not here to toot our own horns. And one of the things that Janine and I do is we tell everyone we don't take the credit, it's them. But what happens is once we show them the how the engine was made and how they were the author and director of it through shadow work, they had the quantum restorative hypnotherapy technique. Everything, the pieces of the puzzle start coming together.
Exactly.
And this person, and then also too, one of the major things that a lot of spiritualists and people in general are not talking about is the to-do list. So through our system, we have people face their mirror and understand that there was a mission, there was a purpose of you coming here. And that's why your soul was led to us. You knew that there was unanswered questions. So the to-do list is basically us helping you figure out what the patterns are. Why are you here? Why are you here? I remember as a 5-year-old, I used to ask God, like, why am I here? Whose idea was this to be on this planet? And I know people in their 70s that still don't know why they're here.
Yep.
So that's where we come in. We help you figure out what's on the to-do list. And then we help you press the reset button. What's our model, Janine?
That we're here to rewrite the story. We'll help you rewrite the story.
It's never too late to rewrite your story.
Yep.
It's never too late.
Rewrite your story.
Son, I really quick, Janine, I'm sorry. I work in a psych ward. I work in a psych ward, and many people are there because they think that they cannot rewrite their story. Anyway, go ahead, Janine.
I mean, every disorder that I exercise or liberate over the years that comes in the form of an exorcism is a misdiagnosis from a psychological, and it's a mistake. It's like a nocebo placebo experience when I show you how to liberate yourself and create the mastery that you ultimately always possessed. It's just like giving you the cheat code that makes it possible for you to recognize your own power.
Exactly.
That is like, I know psychological processes were designed to misdirect the human's expression of self. So when you talk in body, mind, and spirit, you are separated. And that's very much how, people get confused with, something would be more hermetic principles going, there's the 7 laws of the universe. Everything is mental. Sure. Okay. Now show me. I'll take the Pepsi challenge. Show me how this is determined as mental, because it really is. What we refer to it as crossing a point of no return, where you become absolute. So the personality dissolves into the background, and it should never be erased, because I like my personality. I like driving my side by side in the desert 100 miles an hour. I eat chocolate bonbons, and I still am a deficient individual that subscribes to Netflix. The truth be known, that is not what I need to contend with, because my participation is not required. The resonance that I hold, I can say, fuck, shit, whatever, and witness a physical healing, and have done for over 30 years. I mean, if you want me to talk about what is possible, everything is possible. I've seen gangrenous flesh turn back to pink in color in 40 minutes, bones fuse, tumors disappears, lash, like we're talking gashes in the body that seal before my eyes. This is a normal thing. This is a day in the office for my experience. And I attribute it to, if anyone's ever melded or bent metal, this is a state of awareness where most psychonauts will talk about the need to stimulate with exogenous stimuli, DMT, ayahuasca, other things that create what I'll teach you to create at that alchemical fun factory at will. This is where you see potential, and anything is possible. Just allow yourself to experience that. But at that moment of convergence where past, present, and future are one, you don't you are not subject to identity. I never sit down when I witness miracles. They don't happen because I'm San Qing, the Taoist master. I need to call in my angels. This shit happens in a fraction of a second because I'm holding that resonance, and it happens like right now. I mean,
Love it.
miracle wise, I witnessed my 2-year-old die in my wife's arms, and then my 5 children congregated together, and we pulled his spirit back in after 2 minutes of no pulse, dropped his spirit back into his body, and he came out like he got an adrenaline shot. Bam.
I love it.
Happiest boy
love
in the
that.
world. And it took me 2 weeks to really feel into that emotional state. But at the moment, you wouldn't even know. Nothing moves the needle because everything is absolved. Everything is dissolved into that now moment. I am not sitting there calling in guides. All I'm doing is holding a node. And that comes from an emanation, and you witness it at will. And that's that part where you're talking about with the condition.
Correct.
Right?
Let me
Correct.
see if you're my true twin flame. What are you gonna say?
Okay, a lot of that comes with vibration. So this is the thing. We all vibrate. We can all vibrate on different levels. We all vibrate on different aspects of the vibrational. I'm sorry. We all manifest at different levels of the vibrational scale. It's just that people don't realize that it's manifestation. So what we do is we help people connect their emotions to their ability to manifest, and that's what plays into our vibration, because the quantum field doesn't read, it doesn't speak English, it doesn't speak any language. It has to pick up from something, and it picks it up through our vibration. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, we were sent to help people who are vibrating on different various portions of the vibrational scale, but primarily people who don't understand that their innate abilities as spirits, those that may be sitting on lower ends of that vibrational scale, because they are still manifesting. They're just attracting negative or lower levels through the vibration, through their vibration, and how they're communicating with that quantum field. So once they just decide to change their thoughts, then they can raise their vibration and start manifesting completely differently. So you had practiced Buddhism at one point, and the Buddhists understand how your habitual thoughts transfer from lifetime to lifetime for thousands of years. And this is the same concept that we're trying to put out, is that if you don't understand the origination of your emotion, because a lot of times it may not even be from this current lifetime, we have to go into the akashic record to find out where did it originate from. And then when we put you under through our restorative hypnotherapy, we talk to the entity that started it.
Yep.
So when we talk to that entity and we tell them it's okay to move forward, this is how powerful you are as a spiritual being. You had to have that experience so that way your soul could find balance. Now it's time to let it go. And then when we release the person from their quantum healing session towards the end, and we speak to the subconscious, we seal it all together. And we say, okay, this lifetime, that lifetime, and those 3 lifetimes over there are what are affecting you right now, from understanding that your emotions cannot go past a certain chronic state. So after we seal the deal and tell them that it's okay to let go, because you got to understand forgiveness, gratitude, and love are the 3 major things in this lifetime that will help you raise your vibration. So once you start letting go, then you can forgive the situation and start loving not only yourself differently, everybody else around you differently. It just opens up a completely new channel for you. So once you elevate your vibration past your chronic state, because those underlying emotions that are affecting your actions every day are now removed, you can vibrate on a completely new chronic level, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes you'll go back down because of acuity. So there'll be things like Keisha said earlier, like a death in the family. Of course, we're human. So if you experience death and you're not trained to understand what happens on the other side, it's going to affect you. And
Mhm.
it'll bring your vibration back down acutely. But then when you realize how strong that you are and that it's okay to move past certain scenarios and show gratitude for the scenarios that you did experience in your lifetime, it can bring you back up to your new chronic state. What we are trying to do is get people to vibrate at 500 and above.
Mhm.
500 and above is the love frequency and beyond
Now,
is where you
now
start.
let's elaborate for the audience. So, are you
Yes.
talking a Hawkins scale?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
That's the scale we like to utilize
Okay.
because it's easy for the average person to understand.
Mm.
Now, I believe that there are many more vibrations that exist other than what David Hawkins actually put out there. But I want to keep it plain for the average person.
Mhm.
So when we get you to 500 and above, then you can start tapping into enlightenment and tapping into peace. And those things obviously will bring you to a point of a whole new experience of manifestation.
You know, I want to add to that. Yesterday, I was telling Janine last night I had a conversation with a coworker who's been going through storms, and I told her I gave her example of the vibrational scale, and I said if you have three people on three separate parts of vibrating at three separate parts of the vibrational scale, they're all wearing different
Different
lenses.
lenses.
And that's one of the things that David Hawkins emphasized. They all wearing different lenses. And so if each person is living the same exact life, all three of them will look at life totally different. So the person who's living, who's vibrating at anger, they're only going to be able to see life through the set of lenses of anger. Someone who's at courage is going to look at life totally different. So this young lady that I was speaking to yesterday, I said to her, I said, yeah, you're going through a lot of problems. I said, but someone who's an immigrant that just came over here, if they lived your life for 2 weeks, they will be, excuse my French, happier than a pig in shit. They'll be so grateful to have the life that you're living. So it's all about the set of lenses that a person is wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for the average soul that is going to work 5 days a week and coming home and only getting 48 hours of free time and have to do it all over again on Monday through Friday. One of the things that we emphasize to people is that, so when I was speaking to her, I said, I'm going to give you, because this was like literally a 15-minute conversation. And it's funny how you were saying that, how you have an effect. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to call the angels. And Janine and I have the same effect.
We
Just
do.
talking to somebody, just our voice, and we've been told our voice is healing. So just talking to someone, we give our free consultations, and we're getting letters from people just from the free consultations. I'm
We
like,
do. Yeah.
so I said to the lady, I said, listen, I'm gonna give you a quick tip to press the reset button. I said, I call it the lemonade stand effect. I said, everything that you look at as negative, anything that triggers you, you make a storyline out of it where it's positive. So, like one time we had a client who her husband worked from home. So every time she came home, the dining room table was filled with papers. I said, well, you know what? This is how you can look at it. You could be a single parent and be raising those kids on your own. And you could have a clean table and have to pay those bills on your own. So it's all about perspective. If
Mm-hmm.
people take the lemon and make it into lemonade, it's called gratitude and appreciation. 21 days of that, where you're reconditioning your mind, you're taking your mind to the gym every day, and anything that you think is negative. I told her, I said, your kids are stressing you out. But guess what? You have kids. There's people that don't have kids.
Yeah.
So if you start looking at everything from a positive standpoint, you would start changing your lenses and making it into positive. And that's the whole key is people stop looking at life from a certain angle and understand that, yes, I may feel stuck, but I can still make it. I meet people that think that at 40 years old, they have not, because they didn't go to college, they're working in a retail store. This is the end all be all. No, You still have a few more, maybe 40, 50 years left. Get back on that bike and start cycling, you know. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting how, like I said, I work on the psych ward, and believe it or not, San, many of those people that are in the psych ward are not even clinically dep- depressed. They can have a situation that caused them to be in that facility. And that problem is when they're so stuck in their ways and the set of lenses that they're wearing, they'll be in that state for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But if they just start appreciating and having gratitude and looking at every aspect of their life differently, trust and believe things will change. But it's practice, and that's
Yeah.
what it is. And that's where, going back, not to bring up Dolores Cannon's issues with people changing her method, she must understand that the people that are getting this quantum healing, the set of lenses that they are wearing, they've been wearing it for years. And one session under hypnosis is not going to change your life. So that's why we took the word healing out of it and put restorative, because many people have so much garbage in their backyard. They have so much garbage in their garden. Many people are watching a lot of these videos on YouTube regarding spirituality and pressing the reset button, and they come with a brand new set of seeds to their garden. And they throw these seeds in the garden, and the garden is all, excuse my French, fucked up. So how do you expect the seeds to grow in that kind of garden? No, that's where Janine and I come in. And you. You know, we're like, no, let's clean this garden up. Put new soil. Plant those seeds of learning that you learn. And that's a problem. So I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people watch these videos, and within 48 hours they're back to the same person. So they keep watching, they keep looping and looping. Press the reset button on Monday, and by Wednesday they're still back to the way they were on Monday. On Wednesday they're back to the same person they were on Monday. It's because this garden of garbage still exists,
Yeah.
and it needs to be cleaned out. So that's why Dolores Cannon needs to understand we had to change her method, because people are walking in with the same garden they leaving with the same garden they left with, they
Yes.
came in with. So yeah.
Interesting. In further exploration, it wasn't coined healing from her notioning.
Oh yeah, she did. But why did she even put healing? If she's standing there, why did you put healing then?
Well, because it was more commandeered by other people that were surrounding her as a support system.
Okay.
She's just more interested as a transcribe, and was absolutely fascinated by what was the potential as you go deeper past that sub level, subconscious level, unconscious level. What are the possibilities? And then this is where information was streaming beyond your wildest imagination that you could not create. That was her fascination. And so potential change, you know, from me, evoking a PGO spike takes me about a second. I don't have to touch you. And so when that happens, it's equivalent to a little semi-mini Kundalini awakening, because
Yeah.
you supercharge what we refer to as the Tai Chi pole, which interconnects the energy centers. And so then it actualizes what we refer to the sacred infinite flower from the heart center, and it starts bubbling in a cycle that is clockwise and counterclockwise, actualizing each energy center at will. And so the energy becomes independent of your mind. So I use the analogy of you're driving your car down the street, you pull over to the side of the road, you leave the engine on, you get out of the car. This is how the energy works without any inference or reference to the mind itself. So your personality is not required to obtain this level of resonance. Once you condition the body, it will speak volumes, and it's literally like a washing machine inside you. You are birthing a baby because the alchemical process fortifies an actual cocoon. We refer to it as the embryonic seed of the mother, and that is independent. It feels like a solid container inside of your body that you feel like there's an alien coming out. I want to see it. This is how you contain the energy. But that's what the alchemy process does, right? But when it comes to hypnosis, it's one of my favorites. It's like a baby of mine, because there's so many variables, but it's like, show me. You know, so many people talk about levels of degrees of suggestibility, and then you're commandeering someone's attention, or you're persuading someone to fall into the light is pouring down on your skin. Where I like the Black Ops version, where I'm just going in there and all of a sudden shit changes real fast. This is how quickly you could obtain your own awareness. And
Yeah.
so when you can literally erase someone's ability to see something because you're hitting a frequency, and you love the physical side effects, like the almost rashy chest emanation that comes from the blood flow that congeals into the chest and neck area, and then the eyes are like in this hypnagogic trance. I had you at hello, and now it's time to get down with the playtime. And you know, when they do that, it's like, man, all I did was I tuned myself. I'm just going to go out today. I'm going to mess with a bunch of people, do some street magic at a David Blaine level, and shift people's awareness. And it's always fun. Like when you go deeper into levels of precognition, you know, you don't have to play any trickery like David Blaine does to certain levels of the illusion. You're able to see the cards, the information with your eyes open. This is another sense of clairvoyance that you guys are into, that you have mastered through your own awareness. Now, how is it that you are not conflicted playing in the material state as nurses? Because you're really fundamentally, you as a nurse, it's an all-encompassing, all body maternal state that does require a selflessness, and you become, I'm just going to say it, a wet nurse to many people's Karens. I mean, you have to like there is a sainthood that comes with your experience, that comes with the holy stream, because you have to be completely in selflessness and servitude to take on a job that is so demanding on a daily basis, you know. And you guys look refreshed. You don't even look like it ain't touching the sides. Many people are ready for the psych ward or the junkyard. I've done. So how does that work? How do you guys integrate that? And like, you're as happy as a proverbial pig in shit. You are beaming. You're beaming. And that doesn't come. And most people will go into this. How long have you guys been doing nursing?
Over 16 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, most people are over and done with. Just put a pin in it. Forget about it. I'm done. I'm broken. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
You look like you just did a 48-hour workout. You're radiating. So what is the technique that you guys use to sustain the body, sustain the actual emanated state without it breaking down?
You know, that I love that question, and thank you for recognizing our radiance.
Oh, I see it. It's funny. It's funny. Kisha seems to have, I don't know what your relationship with the JC and the big G. I mean, I come across JC all the time. He's my homie. Whenever he's in someone's field of awareness, we have a great conversation, and like he just won't leave your aura. It just like it's just like this transformation. He's popping in and out, and the two of you are just beaming this. There's a level of conditioning that comes with an awareness for the audience. When you hit emanated states of elements of gold, platinum, silver, these are emanated states of cultivation that you can't make that shit up. And so phosphorus light comes out of both of you. It's crazy.
Oh, thank you.
Son, you actually hit the nail on the head. I'm actually glad you brought JC up, because JC is totally Kisha's ascended master by far, including mine. But Kisha is definitely a star seed, and she's very, very, very special. We believe that we have been brought here by the spiritual council. So that's why we have the ability to be able to go into chaotic environments and be shielded, because of our perception of life. Our perception of the human experience is different than the average person's. So even though somebody is, we deal with people that are in pain and that are suffering all the time.
Everyone toned down their energy a little bit. Like like Jesus is coming out of Kisha like from the heart, like an emoji just pumping out. It's
All the
like
time.
I can't even look at you guys. It's
All the time,
stop
though. All the
recognizing your own potency, all right, guys?
Yeah.
Relax a
Yeah,
little
no,
bit.
but it's seriously,
I
that's
feel like
how it
my
is.
eyes are gonna
It's
burn out.
on autopilot. And even for me, it's frustrating dealing with her because her consciousness is so high. And then I can't even live in my human
Then close
experience.
my eyes a little bit. No shit, it doesn't help. Doesn't make a difference. Doesn't
It's
make a
true
difference.
though, but it's true. It's so true. You are extremely aware, and I'm telling you, that's what leads us. That's what leads us. I'm following her trail.
Mm.
Well, you know, funny that's what makes us twin flames because Janine was the pioneer of the creation of this union. Because when I was in my holy roller stage, I was dealing with depression heavily,
Of course.
heavily.
Yeah.
If you could have seen me, I deal with alopecia. So, and when I was dealing with 20 years of depression, you literally would see me without eyebrows, without anything. Like I would go to work looking like uh, uh, a cancer patient, like I was receiving leukemia. I mean, not leukemia.
Chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy. I'm sorry. I was like I looked like that going to work. I just didn't care. And then what shook me was my near death experience.
Son, son, you okay over there?
I'm always high as AF. I love these communions, but man, I mean, I'm gonna have to strap up for this one. Hold on to your seats for more to come. It's like holy shit.
So when I was dealing with chronically low vibration, I did get enlightened, but I still was low. Like when I got enlightened, I was still a low vibration. I think I had my near death experience before I had gotten enlightened though.
Correct.
And what happened with my near death experience, I went to a dimension where they would where the Christian, I mean, where the Catholics are called purgatory. So that right there rattled my soul, and it let me know that what I learned in church about heaven and hell was not the end all be all, that there was more to it. With that being said, then when I got enlightened, Janine was enlightened before me, and then she took me by the hand and she guided me. And every step of the way, it was like, oh my God, what is she doing to us? To me, like I was getting like, what
Taking
are
her
you
deep
doing,
down the
son?
rabbit hole.
I'm just like high as AF, man.
Is it because of me?
It's just the whole union. I mean, I've been playing in energy for 30 years, man. Consciously almost 40, but that's what I do all day long. I'm just like I'm tripping, but
Yeah,
it's
me and Janine
I
got that effect on
We
people.
do. We
but
do.
it's the DMT experience because you sample it. It's like I see it, but if I want to experience, it's up to me. But I never say no. I'll always try everything once.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
Janine's popping off too, but a lot of like ancient Roman angels with wings and like
That's what
this
it is.
high level
Mhm.
of like consciousness that is just a beam of golden dust and phosphorus
Mhm.
white light that is coming
Yeah.
through you. You're popping off, and then these
Mhm.
roses are coming in and out of your field. It's kind of power to the divine feminine energy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Mhm. He's on point.
Yeah, he's on
On
point.
point.
Totally. That's it. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's
Quick
exactly right.
quick story I want to tell you. So I had met a gentleman through a lady. I had a conversation. Never met him face to face. He has his own YouTube channel.
Mhm.
And I was telling him about Janine and I, and he said to me, he said, I see that you're dealing with different deities. He said, you got to pick one. And he said, when you pick one, you will become very powerful. So with that being said, and this was sometime last year, so it was like say he told me this March between a little around Easter, Jesus came to me in a dream. He said to me, I'm the one that you are supposed to be working with.
Well, I mentioned his name. He's like, oh yeah, I'm over here. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. He said, I'm the one you're
it's
supposed to be working.
like just it burns and emanates because, he and I have had a conversation about the suffering, because I
Mm.
lived that as a young boy, and surpassed that level of sacrifice through many facets of sacrifice and torture as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what is that? It's like it's part of returning to that holy stream. The selfishness to the selflessness requires the sacrifice, complete dissolve, complete surrender. And that is where you find your true self. And that holiness
Mm-hmm.
is within everyone. And when you show someone that you can rise up above all distortion, all adversity, and still be whole, no matter what the circumstances, mentally, emotionally, physically,
Yes.
you'll feel that power as it ignites within you. The more you stick with the state that you are connected with from this very moment, from this conversation, it just blossoms like a flower.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what
So
we try to tell them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
so Jesus came to me twice in 1 month, and and then recently I'm almost done with the book. It's called Jesus, My Autobiography. I think her name is Tina Louise, and this happened like I started reading the book within the last 8 weeks, and I had a moment where like I almost had like a nervous breakdown because there was a part where I felt his energy and I'm like, "Oh my God, like he's been with me for a very long time. I just didn't acknowledge him to that capacity." And I'm like, "Wow, like he's here."
Yeah.
So, and I have a method with him. When I call his name 3 times, he instantly lands in my chest. He's like, "Boop, I'm here."
And that's where he's emanating out of, just through the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Geometry is these diamond, golden diamond shapes that are just constantly pumping in and out of your field.
Mhm.
It's wild. Two triangles opposing together as one perfect diamond. We refer
Mm,
to it as perfection manifest. The diamond of perfection is what we
mm.
refer to as the mother, which is the
Yes.
primordial stream of holiness. So, yeah,
I know. It's real.
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I love it, man. I love
That's
it.
Yeah.
why, to be honest with you, Janine and I, lately we've been doing our quantum healing together. We don't need each other for the quantum healing. We've been doing this for a while, but what we find is that when we do this quantum
When we're
healing
together.
together, it's like powerful.
Extremely.
Yeah, yeah. So, and
Yeah.
going back to what you were saying with the whole nursing, I have learned the method of the unit I work on. I try to tell people quietly, like, listen, the day you're having is because you're manifesting it. And
Mm.
so I'm finding that, one thing about nursing is not easy, but you have a lot of power around it. So I have coworkers that come to work already angry and they're already manifesting that today's going to be a terrible day. And guess what? It ends up being a terrible day. So my Janine and I's method with our days is like, okay, yes, we cannot control everything that happens in a hospital, but our team can help us. And so we're great at manifesting decent days, and that's why
Mhm.
we're able to look this way.
Well, you bring up the OG. I used to love breaking chairs when I first started my journey. And so, it's just about how you want to admit the energy. But I would smash chairs, break tables, because the energy's pumping through you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I can be myopic, or I can just be at one with everything. It just determines, what flavor of ice cream I want to enjoy today. But
Yeah.
the most important thing is the potency. It's the Pepsi challenge. Is to show me. I need to see it. I,
Hmm.
I want to witness a hallelujah. I want to witness. I want to be the witness to that profound holy stream. And people have it. Like, we are communing right now. That chill and charge that we're getting through our bodies is that emanated state of
Hmm.
oneness. That's where, as you say, God, Tao, Buddha, Jesus, Tao comes through and shows you, as we refer to the primordial mother, it's holiness. It is whole. There is no separation. And that's where you really, you know, I feel like you guys are, you see and experience it, but a little bit of the apprehension is understandable. You need to dive into it a little bit more. I'm not making assumptions, but like through your lung channel, it shows me that a contraction where the lung is the evidence of how sensitive you become within this material state. And so that can be a flowering of different things, but you know your true potency, you witness, you experience it, but you're a little apprehensive to dive into the pool at the end, the deep pool. You're like, hang on, I'm not 100% swimming. I don't do laps. Just dive in, guys. Dive in. It's
Thank
like
you for that advice.
Just a little suggestion from one family member to another. That's suggestion. I'm not telling you what to do or how to do it, but like that's really you popping off. It's like that apprehension is just within the construct, and you know it, you see it with everyone, but true surrender is allowing yourself to experience it also, that potency. And there's that little contracted piece. It happens to everyone. It always, whenever I come across the big G and JC, it's always the same. People are recognizing they never once told you that you can't be a reflection or emanation, an iteration of self as whole, as that is the creation of all things. And they create that and you emanate it. But, through the dogma, you have a consumption of the exterior where you cannibalize yourself. You're like, no, you can't be the chosen one. It's like humility, trying in public. It's like, hell no, that humility's got to go, man. You are it. You are whole,
That I think that's the part that's and I think that's why a few weeks ago when I was listening to this book and I realized like he's been with me and I know that he's working with me. And then I had this thing, but why me?
Yeah.
Like what makes me special?
That's
like
where you got to iron that out. You got to be. That's where it's like the trappings of the finite mind that is bankrupt, that offers no solution. You need to let that anti-you go and kick rocks. Get the fuck out of here.
I love it.
Because the truth is it speaks louder, right? You ultimately suppress your own potency because there's still this, I can't be the chosen one. Hell no. What do you mean? Yeah, you've got the mandate, you've got the directive, you are living and breathing this emanated state of embodiment. What else is left other than diving into the deep end of the pool and recognize you are all things? And so, this is just where you iron out that you dust off that last piece of what someone wants to call virtue signaling, the humility. You don't need a virtue signal. You are whole. The purity is there. You are there. When you recognize that you do not need to participate in anything, that you are the stream of holiness, all of a sudden everything. But it's like people are like, what? I said, your participation is not required. They're like, oh, Jeffrey, that's blowing my mind. Yeah, the paradox of paradoxes, right? Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? So I was telling Janine that one day, it was this year, it was the day before Mother's Day. I was having an experience, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I was having an experience.
Why not? Please, I love experiences. I love enjoying experiences.
I'll tell you after the show. I'll tell you after the show. But during this experience, they showed me the Virgin Mary, my mother who passed away when I was 48 years old. When she was 48 years old, I'm sorry. When she was 48 years old. So they showed me the Virgin Mary, they showed me my mother, and then they showed me Janine. And they were saying that they're part of the same line. So I find that very interesting with my connection with JC. Janine led me through a lot because I was a scaredy cat through the whole process, and she had to hold me through the hand by the hand and guide me. So, do you have any validity with that vision I was giving? Are you getting anything from that?
Well, yeah. I mean, when I look at both of you, you contain the elasticity of both potentials, and so you can see the yang, but then the yin presents itself and it's consumed as whole. And so if anything, there's evidence of more Yang from Kisha, and then the combination of yin and yang from Janine. The truth be known, that is you transmitting and transmuting your holy self within this material state. And so when I look at how powerful the maternal feminine energy is from both of you, but specifically Janine, there's this comfort and resolve and soul retrieval that comes with her giving you this space of, I'm here to love you unconditionally. I'm here to support you unconditionally. I'm here to be all the things that you know I really am. And it comes from here. And that I am you, you are me. And you connect from the twin flame aspect as one. And so all the power of the divine feminine is emanating from Janine. All the power of the divine masculine and feminine combinations, it like goes like this. And so absolutely that stream, like the second you said, what was it, Mother Mary? Was it Mother?
The Mother Mary.
Yeah. I mean, she literally, like a pistol, shot up between both of you and emanated from your upper dantian. And it's like, holy shit, that maternal state, that mother gnosis is so strong. And it's like the second you even mention that, you start to transmit it because you're so in tune with these energies.
Correct.
So now it's just like your halos are solid gold, and this cross is popping out right through your third eye, and it's just pumping. And like she has this glow and is and it's consumed by your aura. And then she said, yes, I'm coming through Janine as a guidance, as JC is coming through Kisha. And the two of them are coming together as that divine feminine and masculine merge as one. For Taoism, it's yin and yang. And so all these things start to present themselves, and the strength of your mother, right? I mean, that's a pistol right there.
Oh yeah.
But she was no nonsense. There was so much hardness to cover the softness, but that hardness was necessary to survive. That hardness came in the form of different blossoming of emotions, but from that be commandeered by emotions that ultimately took her from us at a much younger age, because it was so self-consuming. And so when you look at that energy and that anger, that really was above what she thought she could contain, but it was nothing. She's superpower. And now that's just an absolute blossoming. She is there as you, I don't need to tell you, but she is there as a complete like mentor to be that divine essence. And it comes right down through every part of you. She is right there with Mother Mary, right there with JC, right there with the stream of God. And it is holy. Oh, yeah. You like that charge? Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Woo.
Loving it.
Yes.
But she's heard, that's just more confirmation, because she's heard that numerous times. She steps into a room and there's so much light that trails her, and that's her.
You know, I mean, we all contend with facets of personality, right? It's always the more extreme you get, it's always, from a Taoist perspective, when you're at your highest, when you're at your lowest, you're at your highest. So when someone meets something as transitory and impermanent as an emotion, they must recognize that it will shoot off like a firecracker, and then it will collapse on itself and return back to the homeostasis. It's like, how long do you want to hold on to that as an empowering expression of self? So when you have a dominant energy, like when we look at energies, I don't know whether you want me to go any further, but when I look at your auras, I see the energies, and it's like, okay, just interplay. And from that answer, it's like, don't go any further. That's fine.
No. I'm enjoying. I'm like,
I'm loving it too.
I'm like, this is a therapy session. I don't know if we're still gonna. I don't know if you're gonna air this, but this is a therapy session.
Whatever you guys want. But I mean, when
And
you
I've been trying to contain my. I want to cry so bad.
oh yeah, you were crying quite a while ago. That's cool. But
Yeah.
suppression and stoicism is unnecessary because that's that powerful part of both of you. But then it starts to emanate through an emotion. So when you become shut off, where your metal is like excess, you attempt to contain your emotions. So you never show the true self. That's why you have yet to unleash your potential for experiencing all these different iterations of energy potential, because there's that containment of energy within emotions within yourself where you don't want to show that softness. As Judge Judy would say, sir, you can piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Do you think that's really don't think I'm stupid. Your smart
Yes,
stay. My lowest day, I'm smarter than you on your
think I'm
smart stay.
stupid.
And you're stupid. But it's like I understand that you're living different facets, right? You're immersing yourself as a servitude and selflessness process as nurses, and you have to be able to contain some level of normalcy because you see such incredible, basically horrific things that most people have to turn away from. This is what
Correct.
you're exposed to. It's like, hang on a second, you get an EMT, you get a doctor, you get a nurse, you're seeing shit that no one wants to see, and you're able to transmute it. That's very, very powerful stuff. And the fact that you hold these streams of complete, absolute holiness is a testament to your own cultivational practices and your own sustainability that does not come from waking up one day and saying you're channeling the Palladians.
Yeah.
Where, this is a fundamental issue. This is, in my opinion, is the biggest downfall of spirituality, is spiritual bypassing. And so when you guys contain it, all we do for what I refer to as psychic readings, I will just walk up to someone and say, hey, you want a psychic reading? They're like, oh, are you delivering me a Harley Davidson motorbike? No. I want to give you a little bit of a gift. And they're like, sure, Mr. Magic Man, give me a psychic reading. And I always do the out. The opt-out is you start at the earth and then you go into the first, what you refer to a root chakra, which gives determination of really where someone has their own rule set. Where are they going to meet that moment? So the emotion of virtue is either excess or deficiency. And by the time I hit the sexual energy, most people go, shut up, we're done. I don't care anymore. Because this is where people get sober. Because you can't hide those things. You can't hide them. We can see it. So it's like, I always give people an opt-out because, they think they can handle it. You can't handle the truth. And it's like, dude, you say that, but I first moved through the first energy center, and you are so contained and have so many boundaries, yet you still want me to continue. It's like, but most of these people push over that boundary and they want to invade other people's personal space, but they want to retain their own sovereignty. It's like, dude, you can have your cake and eat it, but understand if you want to swing at me or you want to swing a punch at yourself, you're going to reflect the energy, right? And so, I think that when you get to the sexual energy, that's where people get all, I'm done. This shit is real. This is real. There's no question about it. And you guys have got incredible energetic profiles. And
Thank you.
the iteration of personality or the flowering of emotions are so transitory and impermanent, they're not even worth pinpointing because the reset is always there. It's like, oh yeah, we can have dominant emotions that are catalysts, but everyone has them. It's so easy to strip someone down and go, yeah, you got this problem, that problem, this problem. It means nothing. You need to be able to help them find their holiness. And that's where a lot of these psychics get into it. I remember I got a learning lesson. It was like 36 years ago when I first started recognizing, I realized I got a crash course on reading people's auras. And the teacher at the time was like, it was a collision of these things. I started off never meditated before. I found some little grandmaster 4 foot nothing woman that was doing free meditation class in a youth center. I was like, something's telling me I got to go, because my childhood I went from bodybuilding and powerlifting, which you made the body, you meld the body, you embody the flesh. And so, I was used to crushing weights and throwing things and doing all this stuff. And then this thing is like, hey, I don't find meditation. I'm like, in those days, back in the 80s, it's like Hare Krishnas and have vegans with hairy armpits eating like, falafels or dandelions. It's like, it's a different sense of self. I'm like, what do I know about this? I heard like there's a yellow submarine from like, what do you call it? The Beatles. But what happened was that moment where I went to that meditation class, I thought was never going to happen. I was like distracted by all the things surrounding me. And then this little grandmaster, when I was sitting on the ground and crouching like an overgrown ape trying to scratch his ass, I was like distracted. I was looking at this woman and she'd walk around the room and she came up to here when I was sitting on the ground and she'd just be really quiet. And I was like, I got to get out of here, man. I'm going to get up and leave. And she's like, okay, now I want you to listen to my voice. I'm like, yeah, lady, I got it. I'm like, this is shit. My back hurts. Everything hurts. Then everything will fall away. And guys, I experienced silence for over 25 minutes. I was like, this is the superhuman, supernatural, superhero shit that I've been looking for, because bodybuilding was part of that. I wanted something supernatural. And to stop sound, that's how you find it. Yeah. So this is kind of like all the epiphanies that you take. It's like from that, I went to channeling my teacher, Latsu, the next day. Instantly, shitstorm. Everyone in the class was like taking sticks with marshmallows, cooking them around me, because the emanation. This is why people are like, why do you drink when you have like whenever someone comes on, this guest is so fucking rude. He's always drinking, because I am transmitting. I am sitting in a fucking sauna right now, and I go from in the Eskimo, Alaska, and it will determine by the type of tea that I drink as to which energy I'm harnessing. I am consuming and transmitting at will. This is going on all the time. It's like, if I don't do that, I'm going to fucking explode.
Yeah.
It's on. And people don't understand that. It's like, holy shit, that's a harnessing of a lot of energy. And that's part of the container. So I went and channeled my teacher. I still, to this day, I commune with him by second basis. And then the third day, I started psychic reading. This is all in 1 week. Then the fourth day, I did distant healing. Then the fifth day, I witnessed a physical healing where there were gangrenous foot, went back to green, from black to flesh and color in 40 minutes. And then I had a dark night of the soul for 7 days, where I had every thought, every feeling, every emotion. By the third day, I didn't know what, there was no in or out. I just wanted to kill myself. I'm done. It was like, I could close my eyes, open them up. It's full force, absolute tornado, tsunami shit. And I couldn't get hold of my teacher. So I'm like, I'm just having a nervous breakdown on top of a tenfold. And it doesn't mean anything. It's like, I'm just walking into movies trying to distract myself. I see a naked woman on the screen, I start throwing up in front of the people in front.
Wow.
Because it's so, you are extracting anything that is less than holiness, and it comes from the body, and you will feel that visceral connection. And once it's absolute, you just keep ringing higher and higher and higher. Just all that stuff that you guys extract from people to whatever obstruction is dissolved. It is absolved of anything, and you are your divine self.
Yeah.
And so, all this stuff is part of the method to the madness, in my opinion. You just can't beat it. I have no idea how I ended up on that story, whatever. I'm so high.
We love it. We're here for it.
Yes. As Janine, as he was talking, I said, okay, you know what? We got to have like a meeting with him, like maybe once every 3 months, just private, where we just have a powwow with you, because this is amazing.
It is. It really
you're
is.
an amazing person, and I just thank you.
Well, we're reunited, and it feels so good. And that's that part of that bond that we recognize. That real recognize real. That's just
real recognizes real. For
because
sure.
let's talk about this for a second. You're in this space. You've been podcasting for a while. You've had on guests, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I've only been doing this like about 2 years, but I can tell you, I've met so many people full of shit. It's wild. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
people that, oh, no, don't talk about that. Like, yes, talk about that. Like, we're talking like massive podcasts, and I have the host on, and they're like, you could see that shit. I need you to cut this out of the podcast. I post this, and I'm like, I'm not posting it at all. I'm not giving airtime. And it's like, because they're just cannibals. They're consuming other people. They're a succubus.
Yeah.
They're not actually returning everyone to that holy stream. They just want to take and take and take and take and take
Yes.
and take and take. There's
Vampirism.
no healing from the conversation, and they're very, very deficient. They're more consumed with their personality than they are really with contributing to a higher level to humanity's cause and basically healing. I don't know whether you've noticed that at all, but
Yes, that's the problem with a lot of light workers that we've noticed. So you have, I know, but it's the
and then like
truth.
people are like, oh, you're bitching about it. I'm like, absolutely. This shit is real. It's like it goes on. And it's like if I don't bring it up, we play this virtue signaling nonsense where people don't understand that just because, and I've only witnessed 3 people that levitate in my lifetime. 2 were Indonesian masters in the jungles of Indonesia, and they smoked a bag of weed a day and they could levitate 5 feet in the air. The other was one of my students that I taught him how to levitate. And most people are like, well, Jiffer, why don't you levitate? Because I didn't give a shit about levitating. I'll give you once you hit a resonance, I'll give you the formula for it. Then you put your time and attention to cultivating that. Because when you reverse and invert the weight of energy within an object or your body, that takes a tremendous amount of conditioning and focus. And so I don't give a shit. I could watch a miracle in 5 seconds that doesn't take any amount of time or focus, as opposed to me wanting to levitate 5 feet from the air. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, it will shift your consciousness, but then what do you do with it? When you get allured by the baubles on the road to the Wizard of Oz and you detour with the Tin Man, this is the problem that takes place. Don't get too fixated by one facet of your own self. Recognize you're a whole. If you don't focus on it, it will contain and maintain, and you will have it consistently through your whole natural born life. When you fixate on it in your one thing, it will start to break. And that's just part of containing the energy. I don't know about you guys. What do you think?
Oh, well, you know the funny thing, Janine, I was going to ask a question, but no, I'm going to answer the question. You know, when it comes down to our mission and having guests on the show, our mission, we're trying to make it so put like this. From a marketing standpoint, we've gotten advice that we're too long-winded on certain things, and all Janine and I want to do is just give the message.
Help people.
And we want to help people, but they're like, well, you need to do this in a different manner. And I feel like it takes away from our specialty.
Hell no.
Where we're like, like newscasters.
Hell no.
Hell no. I'm done with the algorithm. I will sit with a conversation with the like-minded, emanated state of awareness for as long as I choose to. You want to sit there and have that and experience that absolute full body experience for like the conversation we're having. This is your next time to level up with your own enlightenment. But
exactly.
The algorithm, to me, every asset we put out, in my opinion, doesn't matter if it gets 1 view, 1,000 views, 10 million views, it will hit that right person at the right time. That's how I see it.
Absolutely right.
I'm done with like contorting to some, little, what you would call the mind manipulation of the matrix to satisfy someone else's pockets. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think.
Yeah,
that's totally true.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Not to change the subject. So I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it a little bit.
Yeah.
What is your understanding about ayahuasca?
Right. Well, all of them are exogenous to your own power. Your own power.
Okay.
So when you get involved with psychonautic experiences, know that they are impermanent and transitory. It may open a gateway, it may not. The worst part is when it opens the gateway, you then have to level up. So it starts to consume things from a biological level. So from an endocrine system level, you start playing with the serotonin to dopamine levels, and the more and more you look for it, you can't find it, the more it will consume you. It will open a window. Understand, if you take it with the intention that you want to be more expansive, you will open that window. Now, can you hold it? That's the question.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
what I do is teach people how to produce those chemicals internally by yourself. Like right now, we're having a conversation. I'm literally walking on top of a mountain in the middle of the Alps somewhere in China, because I can, and put my toes into the snow, and it's rippling through my whole physical body. I'm feeling a visceral, kinesthetic, somatic experience. It's called multitasking, guys.
Yes.
That's where you get the information. You guys are psychics. You are doing that at will. You cannot just tap into, when people try to compartmentalize things, or astral projection, OBEs, NDEs. That's great for infancy, but it will become futile when you don't recognize the lucidity is where you condition yourself. Where, like, the backdrop is I see you guys, but I have a backdrop that always is pitch black, as the primordial mother is the void, and then everything becomes luminous. So I just instantly tap into anything at will. It's no longer body centric. It's now all encompassing. It's a holiness. I don't go either way on any additives. I mean, listen, like I was talking about those two Kundalini masters, they would smoke a bag of weed, like a garbage bag full, and like that didn't change their ability to transmit and show you supernatural like feats. But the cautionary tale is that as an enlightened being, they were deficient. They were assholes. So they had mastered an energetic potential, but they weren't actually emanating this, as you say, the low to high vibration, the low to high frequency.
Exactly.
That was an embodiment of an energetic potential, but it doesn't mean that they're going to become enlightened. That's not how it goes. It's like that enlightenment will be a default of servitude and selflessness that you cannot fight. You cannot fight it. It's like the mind is not a negotiating component. You will naturally fall into this servitude and selflessness that is no point to manipulate, because it becomes so potent through your resonance. That's all you know. That's all you breathe. That's who you are. And that's what you guys do. Were you thinking about trying ayahuasca or?
No, I was just curious. It's more of like a nosiness, because as I get older, I'm like, you know what? It's getting to the point where just eating a donut, excuse my French, fucks me up.
Right.
So I don't want to, entertain something that, if I figure because you're in the realm that you are, you would have more experience. I don't know if you had tried it yourself or.
Yeah.
So I was just very curious.
That goes to a funny story about when I was a kid. I had 20 friends that were pretty close, and I found bodybuilding at the age of 10 and started fasting at that age. So I was like, I picked up this book called Education of a Bodybuilder by Arnold Schwarzenegger, every fucking kid's dream, right? And I started living that. By the time I was 15, I was competing. And, by the time I recognized my own potency and went through that whole experience I talked to you about, I was 17, 18. And that's where I went on my path of awareness as a priest and other good stuff. But through that process, I witnessed all my group of friends, ecstasy, dope, LSD, but we're talking on a daily basis. And I had a great deal of fear around that. So I would be the friend hanging out on the weekend with all my other friends getting high as AF. And I'd be reading a muscle fitness magazine, and someone would come over to me and go, look, gotta go. I'm like, what do you mean? We're homies. You need to leave. Like, what are you talking about? You're a buzzkill, man. You're just sitting here. But I'm here to be the ambassador, to take care of your goodwill. Now, by the time I was 20, out of 20 friends, 19 of them had committed suicide. Wow. And so I still have one friend who is clinically, schizophrenic. And the only time he finds solvency and complete absolute is when he is taught through the Taoist scriptures like the Tao Te Ching and me teaching him energy potential and things like that, all the distortion disappears. And so when you commandeer these types of things, there is a probability that you're going to open up to something greater. But if you're in fear, which is where most people start, and they go, oh, I'm excited, and then
exactly
you have to be fearless. Like the first time I was experiencing an entity attempting to possess me when I was clearing a person's house, and this is like back in the game, about 35 years ago. So I'm doing this woman's house. I come up with, who is it? She's there. I had realized that Latsu was doing all the healing. So I would just like take a nap. I'd be like, okay, we need to turn the lights out. You need to shut your senses down and lay on the table, and then I'll do the energy work on you. I'd be in the corner of the room sleeping while he's like lighting her up, doing all this stuff. I'm not doing shit. And so I'm sitting there napping off, watching him cleanse the house, everything. And next minute, this bright light just comes out of the corner of my eye. Bang. Next minute, this door opens and this little girl walks out and comes right up to me while I'm sitting down. And she looks at me and goes, hi. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And like, this girl had been there in that house since the 60s, where she was murdered and by her uncle. And so she was like, I'm waiting for my parents. I'm like, really? Waiting for your parents? And like the client is like, who are you talking to? What's going on? I'm like, we got bigger problems here, my friend.
Yeah.
And like, so this energy was luring. The husband and wife had separate rooms in the house, and they just adopted a little girl, and they would hear her calling for them to come to the kitchen every night, and they'd go individually, and they'd come out there and go, where is she? And then go back to a room and fight. And they're like, this is getting spooky. And it's when you're dealing with entities like this, it's like a tacky kind of damp, like chill emanation that is very, very clear. And you start to smell the rancid smell that comes with these type of entities. So I don't know how I got on this, but you recognize this. And so I kept playing with this girl. They turned the lights on. I'm still talking to her. She's brighter than you guys are. And the client's like, my goodness, what are you talking about? I'm like, there's an entity here that claims she's some girl that's waiting for her parents to come. And she's like, holy shit. And the husband and wife looked at each other and went, holy shit. I'm like, well, do you want to explain yourself to me?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, I've been having this issue. And then the husband goes, I've been having this issue. And like, we'd hear our daughter. What do you mean you hear our daughter? You have both been having the same experience, yet not telling each other that you're having this experience. The entities are calling you into the kitchen where the perpetration was basically, that's where it took place. And it's so tacky. And so the energy was calling them in. And I'm like, okay. And the second I start, they made acknowledgement of it. We're all in the same room. This energy just broke the girl's body apart like shattering glass. And demonic energy came out with wings, completely satanic and black, with, this like a minotaur sort of body. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is interesting. And they're like, what's going on? It's like, oh, this entity is showing itself. And then the voice deepened, and it was like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, you got me. You have an earthbound spirit that is stuck here, and I'm playing through her energy to absorb all the energies of this household and anyone that lives in it. And I'm like, holy shit. This is super exciting. I was like, oh yeah, this is my first Ghostbuster experience. And like, and like this energy attempted to permeate my body. I was like, dude, it's not going to happen. Like,
don't even try it.
It's like, I got past the fearless part about a year ago when I first started this journey in there. And it's like, I'm looking for entry. And I'm like, you're not going to find entry here. When you're done, can we sit down and have a conversation while you're here? No, I am going to commandeer you. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. When you're done. And the clients are like, well, what's going on? I'm like, oh, this is the conversation that I'm having. Like, holy shit, can you get it to leave? And then that was the longest and the only longest clearing and exorcism that I've ever done, which was about 3 hours of negotiation. Everything else, once you meet that level of submission, to surrender to self and become whole, and you meet the heart center, that energy just breaks, it dissolves into dust.
Yeah.
The love is all consumed.
It can't exist.
What this person is in lack of. And so that was like the longest. Every time now the negotiation is about, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, you'll watch someone who's completely erratic that would be diagnosed as schizophrenic, ADD, all these kind of different things. And it just goes away instantaneously. They're like, holy shit.
Love that.
That's what happens when you liberate energy.
Yep.
But, I say that, and I haven't had, an exorcism, I haven't had to do one in like 10 years. Every time I say it, 20 people turn up and go, hey, I heard. What do you mean you heard? Yeah, I need some help. That's how it works, right? The way you call JC 3 times and poof. You be careful what you wish for as you emanate this. You are the master keeper creator of all this stuff, and it's instantaneous. The resolve, the solution, the absolute will be immediate. And that's part of the power of the magic, is like, you are whole. I don't know. I don't know why I going into that. But.
I love that. I love that story.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got thousands. You want me to go through? You want me to tell? Have you ever seen the movie Big Trouble in Little China?
I don't.
I used to love that movie.
It's a movie from the 80s. I lived it.
You don't remember that, Kish?
I can't remember it.
I used to love that movie.
I lived that in the bowels of San Francisco, Chinatown. I got so many freaking stories about what I discovered in Chinatown. It is wild. You could not make this shit up. It's my favorite. It's my favorite
Love
thing
it.
to do.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
So when we look at all these things, and you recognize that, there are different phases of conditioning. And this acceptance and absolute that the three of us are experiencing right now is something that most people are inspired, and the admirable state of that is coming from someone's begging to find their own condition, their own soul holiness.
Yep.
And they see it through these interplay relationships where, my goodness, I want that. So what is that? When Harry met Sally, I'll have whatever she's having.
Yeah.
That's the same type of thing. So you can't speak any louder than that. You walk the walk, you talk the talk, and it comes with that absolute, because your truth is the only truth you need to be concerned with. And that distortion will become subjective to objective to universal once you take the steps through the processes where your wisdom teaching, my wisdom teaching meets a place where someone can find the true nature of who they are. That holy stream will come through, and it all comes as a process. It could be immediate, and I'll say that I'm a testament to that. It can be instantaneous. You can actualize anything instantaneously. In some cases, in most cases, it's more a process due to the nature of their own journey and how they are. But the second they find you guys, they're on the path of solvency. They're on the path of absolute, of retaining that true holy stream. And that just requires a little bit more exploration.
Let me tell you, really quick joke, and they tapped me on my shoulder like 4 different times. So I'm gonna say it because they want me to say what they told you this morning. So I'm gonna tell you what they said to me this morning. So when I was thinking about the show and just some of the things that we might discuss, they threw in my head the ego, and how the ego could be a blessing and a curse at the same time. But the funny thing, it had me chuckle, because they said the funny thing about the ego is when your soul returns to the sender, the ego's like, okay, see you later. Good luck. I hope everything works out for you. And so because I remember when I had my near death experience, I went into a dimension, like I said, that they call purgatory, and it was very gloomy. And one of the things I recently started saying is that, and I never mentioned all these times I told my story, I never mentioned this part until the last time we had an interview, was that even though it looked gloomy where I was, God's energy was there.
Mm.
His energy was all over. So my ego left. My ego was like, okay, girl, I see you later. Now you're stripped raw naked and the truth is here. Like, everybody use the ego to say, well, this is my version of what happened. This is my feelings and this is my truth. My truth is my truth. But when you, when you leave and your soul returns, the ego is like, okay, girl, we had a nice time all these 90 years. We did an amazing job. I gotta go. See you later. And now you're stuck there like, wait, damn, where'd you go? And then now you're standing here raw and real. And the ego sometimes has a way of tricking people and making people think that their truth may, whatever negative things that they thought was the right thing, the ego says, no, no, you're absolutely right. You don't have to forgive anybody because you know everything. You're the king of your castle. And then when that soul returns to the other side, ego's like, okay, great, have a good life. Enjoy the new dimension you're in. And it's like, but wait a minute, we got to do our life review. No, 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 you got to do the life review. I did my job. So they told me that this morning. I said, wow, that's a funny way to look at it. And I think people must understand the key with the ego. And that's the problem that Janine and I have, is dealing with people's egos. We dealt with someone recently, and we did a session with her, and the ego was just
Would not
so
shut down.
rock hard. We showed her in different angles. We were tag teaming, and she kept saying, but,
Yep.
but that ego was like, no, this is how we feel, and this is what we think.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up because they tapped me several times on my shoulder saying, tell them about what we told you this morning. So
That's 100% right. I mean, you can't get any. It's again, that's the selfishness to the selflessness requires the sacrifice, and that
mhm,
sacrifice is you are not permanent. You are impermanent. You are transitory. The personality is not required for you to return to your default setting. It's already there. So the
mhm,
less you give it life, as you would say in an expression, the more you're going to show your true power, your eternal immortal self, your forever
mhm,
self that is never left you. And you see it, and it becomes a an independent processes that does not require your participation. And that's the part, and I mean, you reference but, and I mean, from a linguistic perspective, you understand what that means. It's always like, oh yeah, oh, you're great, you're amazing, but I just want
Mm-hmm.
to let
mhm,
you know that these are the
mhm,
things that I really care about. So what, but you told me I was like amazing and great, but in actuality, that's not what the intention of that individual is. They
Correct.
want to manipulate and control it in a basement level way for that to be emanated is through linguistics, right? And you
yeah.
can see someone for who they truly are through the spoken word. Like they show themselves. It's like clairvoyance 101 is like the second someone opens their mouth, you see who they are. You can hear
Mhm,
that there's a dialogue that they're having that does not end with a monologue, which is the stream of the primordial mother, the Tao, God, Buddha, universe. It's a dialogue, a more a manipulation, anti you, and your personality had a baby, and next minute you're off to the races with complete distortion and corruption, and it just never ends. It's like
yeah.
Yeah.
just playing. It's like pandering to someone who has, and all human beings are subjective, but they are elective for this subjectivity. That means that addiction is part of the human nature of condition, and that when you understand that everyone is susceptible to their own weakest link, and that will come in that form, that will come in the form of
Yeah.
whatever it is, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
drugs, alcohol, you know, electronic devices,
Yep.
purchasing power, whatever it is. It doesn't end. When you see that and you soften that, and you realize that that's not who you are, it just falls off. It just disappears. Yep. I mean, that particular person that you were talking about was so in denial, and rage and anger was such a huge component of who their personality was. And they didn't want to show it. They didn't want to show it through that mental element, because that's the way to cut it off. Be as cold as ice, be as delusional, and then try and introvert that energy. And when you do that, you end up with more and more boundaries, more and more setting points and rule sets that tell you that you are justified. And that justification is where, but, and it ends with nothing. It ends with a cold heart and no evidence of the soul, no evidence of the true sense. And so when you look at that person's profile, it just became even darker.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
so
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And the anger, the rage, is like makes the Incredible Hulk look like a baby.
Yeah.
That's a cannibalistic thing when you look at that type of energy, because that will consume the liver. And, you know, like anything, it's all part and parcel. The humanistic biology will show through the energy storing within Taoism, where you refer to the organs as hubs for the emotion of virtue. So you will harbor this stuff if it's not met with a transmutation.
Yeah.
You don't transmute it, you will harbor it, and then it will corrupt the system, and it will start to be the lowest level of emanation is material distortion, is physical, mortal death.
Yep.
Just
Dolores Cannon does talk about that.
Oh, don't mention her name again, please.
You're like, what y'all say? Who said my name?
Exactly. I mean, but it's so exciting when we can have a world where we can find each other, which would have seemed almost impossible, you know, a year or two ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now you can come together because we're all emanating that resonance. Birds of the same feather fly together, or flock together too. You know that real recognize real. And you know, it's a rite of passage for Taoism, but it's a righteous passage that people need to understand. And so when you do that, the absolute is emanating. The absolute, the holy stream will show you, and everyone that has a subjective version is going to fall on that same proverbial sword until they recognize that we all are one.
Yep.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. Amen to that. No.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Well, it sounds. I can feel the rumblings of some type of sustenance. So I'm assuming we'll wrap this up. I did warn you. Oh, where are we? I don't even know how long this recording.
2:40 almost.
There you go. Look at that. I mean, that was effortless. I stepped like 5 minutes ago, and that's how life really is. When you recreate this stream, we refer to it as a serendipitous synchronistic state. We refer to as Wu Wei, effortless action, effortless effort. This is your true emanation. You slipstream into that, and you hold that node of resonance, and that's just everything just flourishes around you. That's heaven to earth. That's where you take immortality, crystallize it in the material. I plugged one of my books, but anyway, not to say anything about the book, but yeah, it happens to be one of those. So we're going to have to do this again. We're going to have to do this more often.
Would love to.
Yes. I felt like I was in school today.
Oh, I think we all were. The student is the teacher is the student. I'm never ever missed to experience something new. And you pulled all the punches when you brought JC in here, so I'm still high as AF, man. That's what it's about.
So we don't need no ayahuasca. We got you.
Well, that's the true thing. Like when you hit that point, there's a system that we use for the alchemy, and you won't need I'll show you DMT. I'm having a DMT experience now. The lucidity of everything around me is so palpable. Anyone else would have a psychotic break, and I'm just
Mm.
dancing in the daisies, enjoying it because that's
Yeah.
who I am. And you look at this, and people want to differentiate it like it's such a big deal, accessing your own self,
Yeah.
and that's where they find the separation, the compartmentalized state. Um, so I'm going to put your social sphere and interweb under this podcast. I want everyone to go out and find you guys for a duo oneness healing that is going
Yes.
to come in all different forms. And you guys are bringing such an incredible potency and way to help people find themselves, return to that holy stream. And that comes from an iteration, a manifestation, a cultivation, that you take the wisdom teaching that has been shown to you from your highest emanated monologue, and you
Mm-hmm.
bring it down into the material state and help people find themselves. And I think that's just admirable. I think it's amazing. I'm just very grateful to have you as friends. So
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Same here. Same
and
here.
so share with the audience, because it's all going to be under this podcast, but share with the audience where they can find you and what you offer. And do you just do one-on-ones? Do you do group healings? Do you have like a workshop someone can get to? Share more.
Well, definitely check us out on our podcast, Truth Be Told Conversations, where we're just being real and raw and our natural selves. And we also have a spin-off show, which is I'm sorry, it's Twin Flame Fix My Vibes.
Yeah.
So you can actually see us in action, where we have guests on the show with people who are dealing with emotional issues and need emotional healing, where we provide it right there on the show. And for anybody that is across the globe and not near the state of New Jersey or the New York metro area, you can definitely get intuitive life coaching, which is virtual. We also offer a pranic healing, Reiki healing, and akashic record readings for individuals that cannot be live and in person with us.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you can come to us. We're Uplift Vibrational Wellness Center located in New Jersey, and you can get quantum healing right on the spot from, if not one of us, then both of us, baby. We will be
Yes.
present and bring you those great JC vibes, and the
Yes.
loving Virgin Mother Mary will step into the building, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But you
both of
can,
you need to have a warning before
warning
before
sign.
any contact. There needs to be a warning sign. Woo.
But you can also visit our website at
Mhm.
www.uplifthealingcenters.com, and we're giving away free consultations so we can
Yes.
find the best package for you. So you can get a little taste of what it is that we do for 15 minutes, and we'd be glad to help anybody that needs some help with raising their vibration. So check us
Yep.
out.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kisha. Thank you, Janine. And
Yes.
I am so grateful to
We're
have
grateful too.
Thank
reconnected
you.
with you.
Yes.
And family is wholesome. Family is
Yes, it is.
I
Yes.
feel that unity. So I'm very
And
grateful.
it goes deep.
It
It does.
does. It
It
really
really
does.
does.
This was amazing.
I
Yeah.
want to thank you guys. I want to thank the universe for bringing you into my life. I want to thank the
Same here.
audience for sharing their time with us today. I'm your
Yes.
humble servant and seafood Taoist Master San Qing, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.